Hey everyone, just a short note this week because you've got some great materials and videos to look at. But I just wanted to introduce this module because religion is a very personal and very important topic to a lot of people. And this week we're trying to wrestle with the idea of how magic and magical thinking fit into the concept of religion. It was the mythologist Joseph Campbell who said that mythology is other people's religion. And what he meant by that is that people assume that their religious belief and their religious traditions and practices are, if not logical and obvious, at least rational. And why wouldn't people believe what I believe? But what other people believe, other people's religions, are strange or weird, or how could people believe that? And so might say, oh, well, that's just a myth, which I have a problem with that term entirely. And if you want to know why, take my mythology class. But in this class, we've got to get out of that mindset that my ideas, my beliefs are perfectly normal and everybody else's are somehow not. This is an anthropology course. We're looking at human behavior, and everybody's human behavior makes sense within its cultural context. So what seems irrational or superstitious or even silly to you is no more irrational or superstitious or silly than your own beliefs and practices are going to seem to someone else from outside your culture, outside your own religion. And it's really not our role to decide whose religion is right or whose beliefs are valid or real. All we're trying to do is understand why people believe the way they believe, why people think the way they think, why people behave the way they behave. And why doesn't magical thinking seem magical to most people within the tradition? And the corollary of that is, why doesn't your magical thinking seem magical to you? Right? So the topics of this course do often fall under the realm of religion because religion is concerned with faith without proof, belief without proof, right? And magical thinking is a belief that there are connections and forces that act in this world that we can't explain, that we can't physically identify, that these connections can't be logically or scientifically determined. So that's how magic and religion intertwine, and that's why you're reading about religion, topics of religion in this course. Religion is a cultural system, right? Amongst other things. And so we're learning some of the anthropological theories of religion, Clifford Geertz and that sort of thing. And this is not in any way to denigrate religion by calling it magical or asserting that it has a magical element as we're talking about magic in this class. It's also not to denigrate magical thinking by calling it irrational. Unscientific is probably a better term, but even that has negative connotations. And the fact that we're having a hard time with the vocabulary underscores the fact that we, for the most part, have been raised in the Western rationalistic tradition. And so have absorbed the idea that anything that's logical, rational, scientific is good, and illogical, irrational, non-scientific is bad. And I'm not denigrating science either. The problem is the way that these terms have been conceived of and the meanings that they have in our everyday life. What we're looking at is just a different way of understanding the world. And it's a way of understanding the world that is central to the human experience. Whether you're raised in the Western rationalistic scientific tradition or not, your brain still produces magical thinking all the time. And that is a perfectly valid and, to me anyway, fascinating topic to explore within the study of anthropology, right? The study of humans. These are people's fundamental beliefs about how the world works. We don't have to accept them. I'm certainly not arguing that you should, but we do have to accept that they make sense within their tradition and grant other people the courtesy of treating their irrational, magical beliefs with as much respect as we'd want anyone else to treat our own religious beliefs. And that's pretty much it for this week. I look forward to our conversation. As always, if you have any questions, post them in the discussion forum.